Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Graduate Open Series for UCL SSEES. This is the Politics and Sociology Masters session. I'm joined by Dr. Sean Hanley, who's an Associate Professor in Comparative East European Politics at the school and is also the admissions tutor for our politics degrees. We'll do a short presentation, just giving an overview of what we offer, and then there'll be plenty of time at the end to ask us questions. I'm also joined by Katerina from the admissions team in SSEES and Myrna, who's one of our current MRes students who will be able to speak to you about what it's really like to study here at postgraduate level. So I will pass over to Dr. Hanley now, and I hope you enjoy the session.
Okay, great. Thanks, Lisa. So I'm Sean Hanley. I'm going to talk for about 10 minutes about the UCL School of Slavonic and East European Studies and what we offer at master's level in politics and sociology, and in particular our three one-year master's programs. So I should say that the school is almost always known as SSEES, SSEES. So if I say SSEES, it means our School of Slavonic and East European Studies. We are about 110 years old, almost exactly. We've been around since 1915. We created in the course of World War I as the British government and policymakers started to realize that Russia and Eastern Europe were an important part of the world, and they still are. And we are still sadly in a moment when there is another war waging in Europe. We were for a long time independent within the University of London, at other times part of King's College London, but since 1999 we've been part of UCL, University College London, and we are formally a big department, but we are rather more and rather bigger than many other UCL departments. We're also by far the largest academic unit in the UK, probably one of the largest in Europe, which focuses on the study of the Russia, the former Soviet Union, Central and Eastern and Southeastern Europe. We've got over 1,000 students and 100 staff. We offer a wide range of BA degrees, 13 MA degrees, a couple of MRes, that's Masters in Research degrees, it's kind of pre-PhD type program, and of course we do have people doing PhDs. We have our own library, which takes up roughly half of the SSEES building, which you saw in the first slide. It's a modern, very well designed, very well stocked library, which supplements the kind of central main library that UCL has, and it has specialist collections not only on our region, including a lot of books in languages of the region, but a very good general collection, including resources for the study of politics and sociology. And I should say the library also has a very large set of electronic holdings. And these days, when you're accessing readings, you're much more likely to download it than physically take it out. We're interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary, both in the research we do and the teaching we do, which means we've got political scientists, we've got sociologists, we've got economists, we've got scholars who work on language and culture, and we talk to each other, and the things we do reflect these different ways of studying the region. So we're not a narrowly defined disciplinary department, and we also have links with universities, with other institutions, with cultural bodies across our region. And in particular, although I'm not going to talk about it in this presentation, in our two-year International Masters in Economy, States and Society, IMES, where students get to spend a second year at a partner university in our region. Okay, so that's who we are. Why would you want to do a master's at SSEES? First of all, because, as I say, we are a specialist department. We focus on the Central East European, post-Soviet, Eurasian region in a way that other places just don't, and we have both depth and breadth. At master's level, although we have quite a large cohort of master's students, we teach in fairly small groups. That might typically be a dozen, maybe up to 20 for larger modules, but no large lectures. And you'll always be taught by people who are full-time academics like me. You won't be taught by teaching assistants on our MA programs. We have a huge range of modules, both in terms of politics and sociology, but also culture, political economy, other disciplines. And it is also possible to choose some modules from other UCL departments. Obviously, UCL is a very large institution. We have, for example, a very large political science department, but also programs, other programs. So there's a huge choice. I've mentioned already that we cover multiple disciplines within SSEES. So you can, if you want, lean slightly into history or culture from sociology or politics. We have a very wide range of events and research seminars, and I'll talk about those in a moment. And just in a nutshell, SSEES is simply the best, or one of the best places where you could study the Russia, East European, post-Soviet region. We've got, I'm going to say we have it all, but we pretty much have it all. Okay, let's talk about what we can offer you in politics and sociology. So we have three one-year MA programs, which you can also do part-time over 2 years. And if you did that, you would take taught courses in the first year and focus mainly, but not exclusively, on your MA dissertation in the second year, taking some taught courses. The three programs we have, two are disciplinary. So one, political analysis, leans towards comparative politics and political science. One is on political sociology. Both of those, as you can see from the titles of our programs, focus on lean in towards our region. And we also have a more area-focused MA degree on Russian and post-Soviet politics, which is more focused on what's going on in this particular part of the world and has slightly less social science. Although you can, if you do take that program, you can, depending on what you're interested in, you could bump up the social science content if you wanted. As I've mentioned, we also have a 2-year program, IMS, the International Masters in Economy, State and Society. I'm not going to talk about that today, but my colleagues could tell you, and I think that there are separate sources of information. That's the one where you spend a year at UCL and a year, second year, at a partner university in a country like the Czech Republic or Poland and other countries in our region. So I'm going to talk about our 3 one-year programs. So how are they structured? Now, I don't have time to go through the structure of each one, but broadly speaking, you'll be asked to do or to choose from a set of core modules for political analysis or political sociology. Many of those modules would be methods modules, although you would have a choice between qualitative methods, comparative methods, and other options. From political sociology, you'd also be required to do a core course in political sociology. With the Russian and post-Soviet politics master's program, the core modules are area focused. You must do a module in Russian politics, and you must choose from a set of other core modules on other parts of the parts of our region. On all 3 degrees, you also have a wide range of what it calls electives, which means options, which means modules that you can choose. These are mainly in politics, society, but you can opt for history or to some extent modules in culture. So if you're studying political sociology, there's a kind of overlap between the study of society and the study of culture, and you can lean in that direction. As well as a very broad range of courses in different disciplines, we also teach and offer language courses and languages of the SSEES region. I'll say more about that in a moment. We very strongly encourage you to consider doing an East European language. We teach things that simply are not taught elsewhere. And even if you are not a person whose primary interest is languages, having some command, some grasp of a language really does give you a key into understanding the wider politics. And then finally, I should say that all of our one-year master's programs finish or include a one-year a dissertation between 10 and 12,000 words. This is the kind of thing that's common in British undergraduate degrees, although this is slightly bigger. And in terms of weighting, this is weighted about 1/3 of the overall program, so 60 out of 180 credits. And dissertation is an independent research project, which you choose. You work with an individual supervisor, and you produce an independent piece of research. And the best of these are sort of look like and have the quality of academic articles. A few of the very, very best ones have been published even in academic journals. Okay, so that's broadly the structure of our 1 year. Oh, hang on. Now, what's going on here? Okay, I'll just say a word about the languages we offer. We really do offer teaching in almost all languages of the region, Russian, Ukrainian, Polish, what you might call bigger languages, but also Czech, Bulgarian, Estonian, and you'll notice Finnish as well for historical reasons. Finland is part of the SSEES region. It used to be part of the Russian Empire many years ago, at the time SSEES was founded. So we teach a wide range of languages. We offer multiple levels for Russians. For example, we offer beginners, advanced, intermediate, and advanced. For other languages, the teaching would be more a sort of beginner level. And we do very strongly encourage you to learn a language. East European languages have the reputation of being difficult for native speakers of English, but they're not. And so we encourage you to take up that challenge. Our language teachers, we have a language unit, are dedicated in both sense of the word. And if you don't fancy doing a formal module, you don't fancy studying one of these languages as part of your actual degree, but you still fancy studying them, we also run evening classes outside the structure of the MA. You need to pay for those, but you do get quite a large discount as a UCL student. Okay, who teaches? Well, loads of people. I don't have time to talk about all of them. I'll just say that we have, on the social sciences side, we have political scientists like my colleague, Dr. Ben Noble, not quite professor, but maybe soon will be, who teaches and specializes in Russian politics. Dr. Glaznitkov, who focuses on the international politics around Russia, obviously very focused for a great deal of attention at the moment. Richard Mole, who is currently the director, the boss of SSEES, whom you would see if you came here as a political sociologist. And we have other people, including anthropologists. So we have a very pretty big and pretty varied team teaching in the social sciences. I mentioned that we have events, and this is very much part of what we offer. We have academic seminars. We have seminars reacting to current events. So we recently had one on what the consequences of the second Trump presidency will be for Eastern Europe. We have talks from practitioners. So we have had politicians from Central and Eastern Europe. We've had former UK ambassadors to Ukraine and to Afghanistan doing talks here. And there's also what is called there the Post-Soviet Press Group, which is a student-led weekly discussion group with some staff input, looking at and monitoring current affairs in the post-Soviet space. The press group label is obviously something of a historical title, given that most media is now online. And it says involvement in journal. We also have a student-led academic journal, which is called Slovo. So we have a range of things which would enrich and add to your studies. It wouldn't just be you in the library or in the classroom. And we have a student society as well, which is very active and puts on quite a range of social activities. Okay, what can you do with our degrees or with our career directions? Well, a lot, and we've had a lot of people going in different directions. Some have worked in international organizations. I can think of one of our former graduates who is now he's on a Blue Book training scheme in the EU. He's probably moved on from that now. We've had people work in the NGO sector. I can think of people who've done journalism, not always about Eastern Europe, in fact, but that's a direction. People who work in policy and government. I can think of someone who's been a civil servant in the cabinet office, another one who's a fairly high-ranking, or was anyway, official in the government of Slovakia. There's teaching, there's consultancy, there's the media, there's business, and of course you can go on to do further study, which might mean a PhD, and some of our MA graduates do that. And an MA these days is a kind of required stepping stone towards doing a PhD. Okay, what are we looking for in you? So we're looking for the equivalent of a good upper second class degree, a 2-1 in British terms, and we want something in a relevant subject. And our relevance fairly broad. So we do social science subjects are good, politics, sociology, development studies. But if you've got another kind of degree, from pretty much any background really in the arts, humanities, we will consider that. We have very many students who come in with language degrees, degrees in Russian, and we've had other people with other backgrounds, including things like theology degrees. It's very common that people will use an MA as a means to change course and to specialize in a particular area. If you've got relevant work experience, you've worked in the Russia or Eastern Europe, and you've got some kind of hands-on experience, we'll also like to know about that, and we will take that into account in looking at your application, look at life experience, professional experience, not just your academics. And we also ask you to make a statement, and we want to know why you are interested in our degree in the region, and what you want to do with it. So we want to know what your goals and interests are. So that's what we're looking for when your application comes in. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's pretty much it. Other than to say that if you want to find out more, there are lots of ways of doing so. You can register on our website to receive regular information. We have an in-person, if you're London-based, UK-based, graduate open evening on the 29th of January. I won't be there, but so I'm on leave that term, but my colleague, Professor Eric Gawley, will be stepping into my shoes, and you can talk to Eric, and he'll be our admissions tutor. And we are on social media. We're on X, formerly known as Twitter. We are now on Blue Sky, which is the alternative to X for many people. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. We have a YouTube channel, and our handle is always at UCL SSEES. And you can contact our admissions team as well by email, and there's further information on our website. So that's it. On that point, I'll finish, and I'll hand back to Lisa, and we'll get more of a student view, I think.
Thanks very much, Sean. I hope that was a good insight into just an introduction to SSEES. Whilst you are thinking about questions, and Sean, if you could stop sharing your screen at some point. So
I'll
as
do
I
that now.
mentioned at the start, we'd be really happy to see your faces or hear your voices if you feel comfortable doing that. But whilst you're thinking about anything you've just seen, if I could ask Myrna, who's one of our current postgrads on the MRes in East European Studies, to just say a few words about your experiences so far, Myrna, and any advice you might have for people thinking about coming to study at UCL.
Hi, I'm Mirna, and my current program is MRes in East European Studies. But actually, my undergrad was from a completely different field because I did urban planning. But I think it doesn't matter because there are a lot of like methodology classes in this, and it helped me to adapt to the new program really quickly. And the reason why I chose this is because I'm really interested in the Western Balkans for many years. And I think this provides a really rich language resource for the East European languages. For example, I'm now currently learning Slovenian, which is really a small language, but it is possible to learn it in SSEES. I'm really grateful to that. And also, one thing I really like about my studies is that the language course is actually one-to-one class for me because I'm the only student. So I can interact a lot with my teacher, and the language class is just designed for my pace. And also not just for language courses, a lot of modules in SSEES, they are not in a big size, like the seminars are really in a small class size with sometimes lower than 10 people, sometimes even 3 people. And so that everyone can engage in discussions with professor. And also there are office hours every week for our students to visit our professors to discuss about everything, maybe something in class, maybe something about our coursework or something about our PhD proposal. That's all welcomed. And if any of you have any questions about experiences in studying SSEES or about application, especially if someone who holds a different undergrad degree from a different field, maybe you can ask me, feel free to ask me about the experiences of that. And thank you.
Thanks, Myrna. Okay, over to the audience for any questions.